Hi, welcome to the Wycliffe Library. I'm Miss Lori, and I have a couple books that I would like to virtually talk to you about for middle school readers. I would say maybe 5th grade through 8th grade and beyond for one of these books for sure. So let me start with The Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys Adventures is the newest series of books by a ghostwriter. If you're not sure what a ghostwriter is, maybe you can look that up or ask your teacher. Franklin W. Dixon. The Hardy Boys, just so you know, was first written in 1927. Since then, it has been revised several times. And this last grouping, the Adventures, Hardy Boys Adventures, is the latest in the Hardy Boys Adventures. So Hardy Boys are two brothers who have been solving mysteries in their city for decades. This particular book is called Secret of the Red Arrow. If you like mysteries, be sure to pick up a Hardy Boys. I'm going to read just a little section of it here for you. Every other chapter, and I believe this happens in every Hardy Boys book, is written by one of the brothers. So the same action could be happening, but you're seeing it from two different viewpoints. One from Frank and one from Joe. This is chapter 9 called The Dark Side, written by Frank, or Frank's point of view. My brother and I have always had kind of a don't ask, don't tell policy with our father about investigation, or at least we did up until the deal went into effect. We never told him about cases we were investigating, nor did we ask for his help or advice based on his years of experience as one of the area's top detectives. In return, he never grilled us about how, exactly, we were spending our free time, or whether we were breaking any laws to do whatever it was we were doing. As Joe and I returned from our cab ride to nowhere, however, we were both feeling like it might be time to get some advice from Dad. Dad, I said, deciding to get to the point, I think Joe and I need to ask you something. Sounds serious, he said. What is it, boys? I looked at Joe and nodded. Slowly, he pulled out the napkin he'd sketched the triangle with legs symbol on and unfolded it, then pushed it to my father's side of the desk. Dad looked down at it, recognition dawning on his face, and then, just as quickly, fear. Where did you boys get this? He demanded in a tight voice. I cleared my throat, suddenly nervous. We saw it painted on the wall at a friend's house. Dad took in a breath, and relief seemed to wash over his face. He grabbed the napkin, balled it up, and threw it in the wastebasket under his desk. Then this is not something to concern yourselves with. I looked at Joe. What? Well, what if we think it's causing problems for a friend? Joe asked. Who is his friend? Dad asked, turning his detective laser gaze on my brother. What has he or she gotten himself involved in? Does it matter? I asked, and then instantly regretted it when the laser gaze was pointed at me. I cleared my throat and then continued more gently. Is this symbol, is it a punishment of some kind? Does it mean someone's marked you? Why are you asking? What's going on with you boys? You're not investigating again, are you? Of course not, Joe said, quickly, reflexively. I shook my head. We understand the deal, I said, not meeting Dad's eye. It's just, Joe sat forward in his chair. This friend of ours, bad things are happening to him and he doesn't know why. Could it be because of this mark? Dad leveled his gaze at Joe. It could be, he said quietly. Then louder, listen boys, under the circumstances and with the troubles you're already facing, it is extremely important not to let it get around town that you're asking questions about this issue, okay? I'm serious, boys. This is very, very serious business. Some things are best left alone, uninvestigated. Do you understand? And one of those things is the red arrow. But, Dad, if the red arrow exists, I said, and it's that terrible, so terrible that no one can even hear you talking about it, shouldn't someone do something about it? And you have to find out if you read that book. Again, this is book number one in the Hardy Boys Adventures series. in the juvenile fiction at Wycliffe Library under Dixon. This is a book that I've just completed a couple days ago called Pony. It is written by R.J. Palacio, who happens to be the same author as the book Wonder, which many of you may have read or seen the movie. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. Wonder, wonderful, get it? Anyhow, that's part of the reason that I picked this one up, because I really enjoyed the book Wonder as well as the movie. I want to let you know, if you loved the book Wonder, you probably will like this one, but don't go into it thinking that it's going to be the same, because it's not. So this story is about 12-year-old Silas, who was awoken in the dead of night by 3 horsemen who arrive unannounced to take his father away. Silas is left shaken, scared, and alone, except for the presence of his companion, Mittenwool, who happens to be a ghost. But when a pony shows up at his door, Silas knows what he has to do. So he sets out on a journey across the landscape to find his father. And that is what the book is about, among other things. I want to read you. We are fully into this story, this little section I would like to read to you, fully into this story. He is searching now for his father. He's all by himself. He's 12. This takes place in the 1860s time period. The writing itself may take a little bit of time for you to get used to, but it's beautiful writing. And I want to read you a little section here about part of his adventures toward the end of the book, when it really starts to ramp up. So here it is. I don't remember firing my rifle, but the shot came from the rifle I was holding. The man who was about to kill Sheriff Chalfant jerked forward and went flat on the ground just as the thunderclap that followed the lightning broke, and the recoil from the rifle hurled me backward into the creek. I rolled farther than I thought I would into the water, for the wind had whipped the current into rapids, and I could not for the life of me grab hold of anything to keep myself from being carried away. What I remember most of my sloshing and sliding under the water is feeling like I was being pulled down by a giant sea monster, and wondering if I had just killed the blue-fingered man. I prayed to Mama, please let me not have killed him, for I didn't want that to be my last action on this earth. I also prayed to her that she'd come meet me on the other side if it was to be my time, for I sorely missed her. I was thinking all these things at once when a fierce hand gripped the top of my head and pulled me out by my hair like a fish on a line. Gunshots were ringing in the air as I gulped my first breath, and though it felt like my lungs had been crushed, it was Deputy Beauty Man who had pulled me out. His left hand latched onto my head while his right hand kept shooting his rifle. He hurled me to safety against the cliff wall just as the top part of his left ear was blown off by a bullet. So, getting to that point of the book, there's a lot of information that you need to learn about Silas, about the pony that comes back for him to try and save his father, and about all the shooting and things that happen toward the end of the book. This, if you like adventure, if you like anything about ghosts, learning about ghosts, and in this book, there's also a lot about learning how to develop photographs back in the 1860s, just a little side thing that's kind of cool. This book is available right now at the Wycliffe Library. It's called Pony by R.J. Palacio. Hopefully we'll be able to see each other in person soon. If you're interested in any of these books, please let your teacher know or call us at the library and I will be happy to hold it for you. Thanks. Have a great day.